Hi patrons, welcome to the Patron Zone. Thank you so much for being here with me and being part of this creative journey and live journey. Hope you love it here. Here is the rest of the video to the video I put up on my channel today, where I'm doing a Junk Journal with Me episode, working in my 2021 journal, and I'm documenting joy for Keepsake August. And it's this event which was a double birthday party to recap, and we had to dress up as our favourite cartoon character, and I just collected a whole bunch of ephemera from the party to put on my page, and here are the photos. So we have got me as Sailor Moon, and then the two people I live with. So I live with a family and they have a son and a daughter, and I call them my little brother and sister. So that's them in that photo there. I didn't ask their permission if I could show their faces, so that's why they're just covered up there. But yeah, I like to keep kind of my private life, where I live, since I live with other people who aren't my actual family. I just want to, protect their identities and make sure looking after them and everything. So yeah, it was really fun though. We all had so much fun dressing up. If you're wondering, the boy was the baby from Teletubbies. I never really actually watched that, so I don't really know, not familiar with that, but I think it's called Sun Baby. And then the girl, she dressed up as Tinkerbell. And then I'm Sailor Moon. I bought my costume from eBay, and it's a bit hit or miss buying things from eBay, and it's just a cheap eBay shop, and oh wow, I'm so glad that the dress actually fit. The only problem was the skirt at the back was shorter than at the front, so I had to get creative, and I went to an op shop and found a dress that had a similar color tone to the Sailor Moon skirt, and it was also the same sort of material, kind of satiny. So I was going to sew a bit longer of a skirt onto the costume, but the skirt was really pretty on the dress. So what I ended up doing was getting a bit creative and cut off the top part of the dress and was left with the skirt. And I didn't want to ruin it because it was such a pretty skirt. And so I thought maybe I could alter it. The dress was too big for me from the op shop, and it was only $5, so I didn't feel bad cutting it up. So I thought maybe I could alter it, and then I could have another skirt that's really pretty. It's quite a bit longer, so what I did was I folded it under a few times and then tied it up with an elastic, so that it just looks like a little bit of a petticoat underneath the skirt of the actual costume. The gloves were hilarious. Oh my goodness. The fingers were way too long. I don't know if it was like some weird gloves. I don't know. So I just ended up improvising. At the op shop, they had some white vintage gloves. So I grabbed those too. And then I just cut off the red part of the glove from the actual gloves, and then they were way too big, so I sewed them together and they ended up making little cuffs. I'm just ripping out pages of my journal because it's getting a bit chunky, so don't be afraid to rip out pages if you need to. I do it all the time when my journal gets too chunky, and because I'm adding a lot of ephemera to these pages, it's going to get even chunkier, so that's why I'm doing that. The costume worked out pretty well. I was happy with it. I had to alter the tiara and the neck piece. They were too big as well. So it was really, I was really thankful that the actual dress fit, because that's where I usually have a big problem, that it's always too big. But the dress itself was the thing that actually fit. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, I just went all out, because usually I wouldn't do this. For every other costume party, I just kind of improvise with stuff I already have. But, with everything that was going on this year in my life, I just kind of thought, you know what, I'm just going to choose joy. And I'm going to go all out and just have so much fun with this party and go all out with my costume, get all the bits and pieces, and just have fun and, really prioritize that joy and that delight. So this is actually really fitting for this prompt of joy, because it was an intentional choice. You know, I could feel guilty, like, oh, why are you spending money on a costume that is like, you know, you are not going to wear that often, if ever again. And I didn't need the gloves. The costume would have been fine without the gloves and all this kind of thing. I even bought some glittery shoes to go with it, some blue glittery shoes and some tights, some blue tights. But in the end, yeah, that's what I just made, an intentional decision that I'm going to choose joy at this movement because, you know, this year has had some trials and challenges and some sadnesses. So it was really important for me to do something that was going to be joyful for me at this time. This was quite a while ago now. This was back in July. And so it just gave me a bit of a bright spark in my day, in my life, and in the lead up, the planning for it. It was all just the anticipation, the joy of getting everything ready. We had a mock day where the girl and I, we dressed up and yeah, just had a mock dress up session just to make sure everything was working and okay. And we were so giggly, we were so just laughing. And that's what I mean by like treasure the joy. And even though it's just trivial and a bit of fun, sometimes you need that in life, and that I did in you know what I was going through. So yeah, it was very fun. The night was really fun. They went all out. My goodness, the decorations, the food, the meal. Like one of our girls and I, we were standing at the table with all the snack food, and we were just eating all the snack food, going, oh, so hungry. And then after we ate all this snack food, they say, oh, it's time for dinner. And we're like, what? There's actual dinner? Oh my gosh, because we thought it was just the snacks. And so yeah, it was really fun. Just we had a bit of a laugh. So yeah, dinner was amazing. The games were amazing. One of the games was they played the theme songs of different cartoons, and we were in teams of 4, or the 4 teams, and yeah, you had to do your buzzer and get your name of the theme song, and I only got one right. And it was for Sailor Moon, and I was actually thinking to myself, do I even know what the theme song is anymore? Because it's been so long since I've watched the show. But she played it, and I was like, that is it. And I got really nostalgic, actually. I was like, oh, Sailor Moon. And I went home afterwards and Googled it and played it on YouTube. And oh, just the song, it brings back all these memories. So let me tell you about Sailor Moon. I grew up watching Sailor Moon. You know, before I went to school, it was a cartoon I watched every day, 5 days a week. And it just captured my imagination. I loved it. Superheroes saving the world from a different planet. Anyway, but I just loved the story, and it inspired me so much. It's very significant in my life because that's when I started really getting into writing, I think. And as a writer, it's kind of fun tracing your roots in terms of what inspired you to write. And that's when I first got into writing my own stories and dreamland and coming up with my own version of Sailor Moon. So basically, I guess you could call it fan fiction, and I still have it to this day. I still have my notes, I still have my drawings because I drew their outfits and I drew the gemstones and all this kind of stuff, and it was just so fun. I had hours and hours of fun doing my own story writing for that, coming up with different things for it, and yeah, it was just so much fun. And that's a testament to how much it meant to me that I kept all of those stories. And I'm so glad because, now that's a keepsake as well that I can use for a different journal page spread. So, really, really fun. This photo here with the girl in the onesie, that was one of the girls whose birthday party it was. So they did this photo booth and decorated the back wall, and then had this balloon garland, and then people could have their photos taken there. So that was really fun. One of the games was also with the treasure hunt. There were all these Kinder surprises, the Kinder chocolates hidden around the house. So, I don't know, there were like 30, 50, I don't know. So that was really fun. Oh, this is the dress that I got from the op shop. So this was the top of it. And it was really pretty, but way too big for me. But, it had some bling on it. It had a sheer layer and it had a satin layer underneath. So I definitely wanted to represent that dress on the page somewhere. It was really hard to cut out. Oh my goodness. It kept moving and warping. So in the end I just didn't fuss around with it too much. I just got it as straight as I could. And then I think I stapled that onto the page, just as a reminder of, how I went all out with the costume. And what that speaks to me about is how I chose joy in that moment by going all out. And look, it just kept getting narrower and narrower because it wouldn't get a straight line. So I'm like, oh well, let's just make it a wavy line. That ribbon underneath, I didn't end up wearing it, but that came from, that was my idea, to put ribbon through my hair. But in the end, I just did the 2 pigtails, and then we did hairspray, like glitter hairspray, lots and lots of glitter hairspray, which I love. I love glitter. I would wear glitter in my hair every day of the week if I could. And then, just gluing things down, trying to fit everything onto the page. I couldn't fit everything, but I will definitely keep it for a different page. I'm actually going to do another page spread in my anchor journal, dedicated to Sailor Moon and how that anchors me to my roots of writing, and how much I loved that TV show, how much it inspired me, and how it influenced me as a writer, I suppose. And so I can use that envelope for that other page, and I've got other pictures that I haven't used on this page for my anchor journal, so I'll do that later on. But so now I'm just writing out the details, whose party it was, and I didn't leave myself much writing space, but that's okay. The pictures and the ephemera speak for themselves. That's really what this page is all about, using all of those pieces. I really like how I use the wrapping paper for the Pass the Parcel on the right-hand side page as a background piece. And the minty wrapper, that's the prize that I won from my round of opening the parcel. So that particular packaging was the one that I myself opened. So it all comes together and makes sense. So just writing the details: dress up as your favourite cartoon character, Sailor Moon, costume from eBay, $5 dress and vintage gloves from the op shop. And then I just annotate all of these little pieces. So Pass the Parcel, got a minty, not a challenge. Also, every second time someone opened the package, it was a challenge. And I was so hoping that I would get the minty and not the challenge. So some of the challenges were to rap Happy Birthday, to do the Macarena, to... now I can't remember the other ones. Just really odd, funny ones, like stand on one foot, close one eye, and touch your elbow or something like that. It was just a lot of fun. Just writing all those little details that I've already mentioned to you guys, and treasure hunt, writing about that. Pin the tail of the donkey was fun. You had to, of course, be blindfolded, and then you were spun around, or you had to spin around 10 times, and everyone counted while you spun. And then there was this donkey of Donkey from Shrek, and he was on the wall, and we had to pin the tail. It was so funny seeing where people put it. Some people had it completely off the picture, some was on the head, some was on the body. So it gave us a good laugh. And then just putting little arrows and more annotations. So I hope this was just a really fun page spread for you guys to watch and maybe relax to, give you some inspiration and ideas for your own page spreads and types of things you can collect, different ephemera. And may you document lots of pages of joy in your journals, because joy is very, very important and something to hold on to. So, and choose joy in your days. For all of your days, make sure you choose joy. So thank you.